Episode 181 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our supporters. If you want to support the show, one way you can do that is by going to patreon.com/thewilderness-podcast. We got a few fun rewards there, so if you want to support the show and get a little bit extra, maybe go check out Patreon. See if there's anything there that interests you. And one of the rewards for being a supporter on Patreon is a $5 tier supporter gets a special episode dedicated to them. Or a special supporter gets a normal episode dedicated to them, I should say. So this episode is dedicated to the one and only Matt S. And if you're a $10 tier supporter, you get every episode dedicated to you. So, again, that's Aiden A, Gentinu, Spleemo, Dreadful Monkeys, Mateo Was, Szechuan, Cynical Cyanide, Mallard, Strosity with his super duper shout out. And last but not least, I have to welcome Mr. John Brown to the Patreon crew this week. Thank you so much for signing up. But hey, if Patreon's not your thing, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/dills, where you can make a one-time donation instead. So thank you to Timbuktu25, Caradoc, Terry Paramore, Issa Cole World, and 2JZ Soup, or 2JZ Soup, depending on where you live. So thanks, guys, so much for the coffee. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to episode 181 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am Dills, and joining me today is Heartless. How's it going?
Hey, Dills, doing well. How are you?
I am doing just great. We got some updates this week. Got some updates to talk about. Of course, the big one this week is the combat achievements. It seems, you know what? It seems like people you either hate it or you love it. I don't know. Have you noticed that response with like seeing on Reddit and Twitter and stuff?
I mean, our Reddit is a hive mind of toxicity that immediately goes to like the worst. Like, this is terrible. I too went through sort of a similar. I'm not sure if I like this to a place where I very much like it. So I can talk about that too.
Yeah, no, we'll get into it. I feel the same way.
I agree with you. There's definitely a lot of opinions, and the negative ones just tend to pop their way up on Reddit quite a lot, which is pretty funny. Did you hear Foe's little comment about before you're allowed to post anything on the 2007 Scape, it should have your total level next to it?
No, I didn't hear him say that, but that's funny.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that's good. But, I totally get what you're saying, where it's like, I feel like I had a wave when the combat achievements came out. I was like, oh, this is combat achievements? And then I started, took me a minute, and I was like, oh, I actually really like this. I think I like this better than what I was expecting.
I like it a lot, and I'm really excited to talk about it. And I think I have an idea of why, because I sort of looked at it too. I have an idea of why people didn't like them at first too.
Yeah, and it could be the same wave that kind of, I'll mention it, but we will talk about it. But the wave that I hit, where it's like your initial look at it, you're like, oh, this is not what I was expecting, and then
exactly,
and then you post about it, and then it sits in, and you're like, oh, I actually like this. So
you should have a think about things before you go and make ranty posts. Is basically what we're getting at here. So I'm really excited to talk about it, dude.
And then we got a mini poll blog here. They call it miscellaneous improvements. Miscellaneous. That's such a weird word. Miscellaneous. Am I thinking of that miscellanea, whatever it's called?
No, it's also pronounced miscellanea. You just do not pronounce the C. The C is silent.
Well, anyways, that's a weird word.
You do have a tendency to pronounce words.
I know. Differently. As I've gotten older, I'll say stuff, and I'm constantly Googling it to be like, am I using this in the right context?
See, I need to write these things down that you say, and then do a game show where I say, Dills, did he or did he not say this sentence?
Oh god, there's so, and it slips even with like RuneScape words, where when I was a kid, I would call it D-Herox because I had a friend who called it D-Herox, and then I remember people would write like angry emails being like, dude, get it right. Or Ardragon was one of them.
Ardragon. Skimitar. Yeah.
Skimitar. There's a whole whack of them. Anyways, miscellaneous improvements. There's a pull blog to talk about, and we got also another mini content release, which is basically Slayer improvements. But the cool part of it is the new Slayer helmets, which look very cool.
Oof, yeah, they look great.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then. Yeah, that's it, guys. They finally announced when the Summer Summit is happening, which is going to be happening on the 31st, I believe.
Nice, can't wait. Yeah, it's in a week.
Okay, so they said it's going to be in July, and they really left for the end there, but that's totally fine. The Summer Summit is supposed to be like, this is what I'm expecting. This they have mentioned that it's going to be kind of like the RuneFest announcements, where they lay out what they have planned for the year. So that's something to look forward to. I think the idea is to have low expectations going in so that you can be super excited. Otherwise, we're going to be wanting even though last week I think we did our predictions, which I kind of went with a raid, a new skill, new quest, a little over the top. So I don't think it's going to be quite there, but we'll have to see.
I'll get one of those things, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, I guess. But anyways, I'm excited to see the direction it's going. But speaking of the direction it's going, I guess the quick little, we don't really need to talk about this too much, but we had some JMods resign this week, and one of them being was it Mike D, who was he replaced Mod Matt K as the, what is it?
Yeah,
director of product? No, that's not it.
A little bit of a weird one. I remember I was there for his onboarding stream.
Yeah.
And like he clearly has some experience. He's an older guy, maybe his 40s or 50s. He has some experience with maybe 40s. I'm just judging his age hard here. He has some experience in video games. So he's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, he worked on like WildStar. I think the was the Age of Camelot. He has worked on a bunch of other MMOs, which is really cool. I don't think often we get somebody who joins the Jagex team who has already a lot of experience within the MMO industry. So that's really cool.
Now, what was strange about him is he didn't know anything about RuneScape, nor did I find over his tenure he came to truly care about the game in the same way as many of the other devs do. So it was a bit of a weird... I had mixed feelings about him. I mean, he was a pretty cool dude and had some good ambitions for the game, but just wasn't there long enough to see him through.
Yeah, like so. I guess I can understand where RuneScape it's a weird game. You can't, like most MMOs you can compare to other MMOs. They all are kind of similar. RuneScape is so much more different than all of them. Yet it's still like you look at this game, and by all means, it's a terrible game. If you were to write every part of this game down on a piece of paper, and you explain it to a gamer, they'd be like, yeah, this game sounds terrible. But yet, anyone who plays this game would be like, yeah, but when you put everything together, it becomes this game that's just like really fucking awesome. And it is also one of the biggest MMOs right now, which is like unbelievable.
And I mean, there's not like, you think about our generation too, we're talking like mid 20s to like early 30s is sort of the major demographic for this game.
Yeah.
And there's also the polling system, and we tend to be quite stuck in our ways as a community. We can be very kind, but also very brutal. So it can be a hard group to work with.
Yeah.
If you don't fully understand where they're coming from, and especially if you don't have that sort of deep connection to the game, it's sort of hard to understand or rationalize why the player base may think certain ways or treat decisions with certain reactions. So, and I think that's something that a lot of the other mods really have, because they're all like, they all love this game. So
yeah, and I think a lot of them, seems like a lot of the time they come in as juniors, they stick around for a long time, and they get like kind of promoted within, which causes them, maybe they're RuneScape players first, whereas Mod Mike D came from like WildStar and all these other games, so. So I'm sure he had some really cool ideas, but I never realized he was such like one of the big cheese of the RuneScape team, basically.
Yeah, he was up there, like, because he replaced Matt K, who was like basically one of the leading the leadership roles. So, yeah.
So anyways, I never the way he talked, and he always was like, we got big things, I can't talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit, so I might get myself in trouble. And he would always talk like that, and I was always like, oh. Like this guy, I always thought he had a lesser role than he actually did, but
no, he's a big wig. And
Yeah,
he also was American, living in America.
True.
Which was fine for like pandemic, but I feel like the pandemic obviously has had effect on all businesses, but it seemed to have really stunted Jagex's ability to push out content, as we've seen, and among other reasons too.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it just didn't work out. There could have been a number of reasons, right? Or maybe he just got a better job. Who knows? But
it happens.
You know, hopefully they can replace him. Hopefully with someone from within the team. Nice to see someone get promoted.
Yeah, I think it's tough because like he was a good example where it's like it's awesome to get someone who has MMO experience. That being said, you really have to. It's hard to really understand what the hell's going on with this game.
Yeah, like in working in companies, you have to have this like weird. There's this strange balance between either getting someone from the outside who's extremely experienced and has been around the block, they've had multiple different jobs, hiring someone like that, or do you promote from within, or someone who understands your company culture, or he gets the work knowings of everything and shows a lot of potential for growth? Like, what direction do you go in? And both can be good choices and both can be bad choices. That's one of those tough managerial calls that you have to make. Yeah, I'm sure there's many listeners that are, in positions where they've been the person on either end of that situation. So
it's got to be tricky, but I'm sure they always find a way. Here we are. What is it? It's been 7, 8, almost 9 years. This old school RuneScape's been going on. That's crazy.
Gaming, hey?
Oh man,
and still going strong. So it's it's a little farewell to Mike D there, but I hope he gets replaced with someone who can do the job even better.
Yeah, and
no disrespect to him though.
Similarly, Mod Acorn also left the company as well. What did she do? Let me see if she...
I actually don't remember. I saw her name at the bottom of the patch notes, but what was her work?
Associate producer. So she did... Fasani's Nightmare, Tinted Hit Splats. She did a bit of Darkmire, Mahogany Homes, Leagues 2, Trailblazers. She did a handful of stuff. Oh, she was anti-cheat specialist. Oh, community manager. Oh, it's
a rough one.
For that. Yeah, that'll take a few years off your life, or age you quite. Anyways, so it's been a big old week for the game, in one way or another. But how's it been on your side of things? What have you been up to?
Dude, it's been good. So obviously, you talk about combat achievements. They came out 2 days ago now, or a day yesterday, was it?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. So my grinds last time were crafting and gauntlet. I'm at 320 or something gauntlet KC, so pretty getting up there now.
Damn.
Which is good. I have almost completed the armor set, which is nice, and I'm getting close to 2,000 shards, so I can corrupt the bow if I get the seed.
And you have the sail door already, the blade?
I have the sail door, so once I get there, I have some life choices to make about whether I uncorrupt my blade or not.
Aye.
And I've been pulled in both directions, and I don't really know what to do. So I'm gonna think on that one a little bit more.
And
then I got 99 crafting as well.
Oh, you got 99 crafting?
I did, yes.
That's sick, nice.
Yeah.
Do you need 99 crafting for anything, or is it just for the cape?
You can boost everything from 93, so it was just for the cape. Oh my god, the cape is so good, dude.
It is, right?
Oh, it's so nice. You just bring it everywhere, and you can use it to tell you to the bank right away. It's like a better version of the dueling ring, right?
And because it brings you right outside, it brings
you inside the crafting guild, and it's the closest bank to a teleport in the game, I believe.
That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, so that's been good.
Big grabs.
Then I decided what to work on next, because that's a nice AFK skill in downtime, because Gauntlet is very intense.
Yeah.
You have to be paying attention. You put the music on, then you pay attention. But crafting is very chill, so depending on my mood, I'm sort of trying to figure out what to do next. And I think 99 construction with Mahogany Homes will be the move.
Oh, nice. Are you doing it for the points, or just so you don't have to save money? Or so you can save money?
So I looked into doing... So Mahogany Homes is 220... I did a few hours, 230k XP an hour with Mahoganies at my level, which is pretty good. I can't complain about that. I think when I was doing Mythical Capes, which is the teak option, for Iron Man. I was getting like 250, and that is like super click intensive.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very good at it, and I did like hours of it, and I was still quite bad. So the XP rates are comparable, and the click intensity is way less for homes.
I find it kind of fun too. You're kind of going around the map a bit.
Yeah, it's sweet. And then the other option is Mahogany Tables, which is the big boy option, which is like a mil XP per hour, and it's pretty easy to line it up. But that would have cost me like 110 mil.
Fuck.
Iron Man cash, which is hard to come by. I only have like 80 right now, and it would have I needed a few more tens of thousands of logs. So I was like, you know what, Mahogany Homes, it's like only 40 hours for 99. Sounds like not much. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
Yeah, you do it every now and then, and I think sometimes I've been like thinking like, oh my god, it's gonna take me forever to get to whatever it is, to get this pet, to get this 99, and it takes forever. But then at the same time, like the way I've kind of been playing this game, it's like, let's just say RuneScape lasts forever. I have the rest of my life to max this account. There's no rush, you know what I mean? You kind of
exactly
slowly pick away at it, and I'll get there when I get there. So same thing with Mahogany Homes, right?
Exactly. It's kind of fun. I like it, and yeah, it's decent XP. And it's only going to cost like 27 mil, so I'll be able to save the rest of my money for Blood Runes, which will be needed when I go to the Inferno.
Oh, shit, eh? Yeah, true.
So yeah, that's sort of the happenings in RuneScape. Not too much. And then I obviously did a little bit of combat achievements and chipping away at those the last couple days. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. How about you? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? So I've kind of like taking a bit of a break with RuneScape, sort of. When I say I'm taking a break, I mean like I'm not. Usually, whenever I have downtime, I'm playing RuneScape. So I've kind of switched it up, and a few of us in the Discord have been playing a game called Escape from Tarkov. It's kind of like a very sweaty FPS sort of game.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys. It looks cool.
It's a fun game, and Deegan plays it, and because I used to watch him, and I never really got it, but it's really fun. It's really hard. It's like quote unquote realistic. Although anyone who is a big fan of the game will be like, it's not realistic at all. But it's like a weird battle royale mixed with survival FPS shooter. But it's a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it, and it's been a long time since I've like gotten into another game that wasn't just playing RuneScape or playing like another account or something. So it's been nice to be able to take a break and have something else to kind of, I bounce between the two games basically. Sometimes I can feel when it's like whatever goals I'm working on, they're a bit much and I just don't feel like doing it. And, in the past I might have forced myself to do it because I'm like, well, I'll just complete this goal and kind of tackle it away or switch goals and do something else. But I found I wasn't really enjoying anything. So, I was just like, what, I'm just going to take a break. I'm not going to do any raiding because I don't feel like doing any raiding. I'm not going to do any more wildy bosses because I don't feel like doing it. I'll just, if I feel like doing something, I'll do something. And if I don't, maybe I'll play a different game. That being said, when we get the summer summit, I think that's going to be exciting and might get me re-excited for doing some sort of content or getting prepped for whatever piece of content's about to come out.
It's good to dive into some other games. Tarkov looks cool, man. So I have to say, I find it crazy that when you die, you just lose all your stuff.
It's like playing in the wilderness all the time.
And the thing that threw me the most, though, was that you don't have overheads, so you don't know who your teammates are.
Oh, are they gonna be like pray from range?
No, you don't have like the person's name above, so you don't know if they're your teammate or not. So you just have to have good communication, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's super. You don't even have a map, which is tough. So like for anyone who hasn't played the game, a quick explanation is like it's like battle royale, but instead of you being the last one surviving, your objective is to go into a map, loot a bunch of stuff, to get like weapons, items that are worth money, whatever it is. And then when you're like, hey, I got all my good shit, you then have to go to like a point on the map, which is called an extraction zone or extraction point. And then when you get there, it'll take you out of the map, and then you can kind of go to your bank and store all your stuff, sell some stuff off, customize your weapons, whatever it is. So you don't have to you could go in, you don't have to kill anyone if you don't want to. That being said, if you see someone, you're probably gonna want to kill them because they're probably gonna try to kill you. Because if you kill each other, they're gonna loot your body and you can loot theirs and stuff. But yeah, so it's like super realistic in the sense that there's no map. So when you go into a map and you have to go to in a specific extraction zone, which might be like a helicopter somewhere or like a truck somewhere, you go to the truck and then it takes you off. You have to basically either already know where it is, or you have to boot up a map on your phone or your second monitor. And then you got to figure out where the hell you are on the map. So it's like really fucking hard when you're getting into it, because you're like, I don't know where I am. I see buildings everywhere, but I have no idea which way is north, which way is south.
Super punishing for a learner, hey?
It can be, yeah. And it's good to do it with some people that you know that will kind of hold your hand a little bit and kind of help you out. But now the thing is, this and kind of what you're saying, where you don't have any indicators to know who your teammates are, if you join in with some friends. And I've seen a bunch of videos with it, which means if you play solo and then you come across a group of like 3 people, it's really easy for people to get kind of mixed up. And next thing you know, everyone's just like super ready to shoot the first thing they see, which could be your teammate if they're not communicating
that seems
well.
Insane.
Yeah, there's a bunch of funny videos where a guy's like, all right, I just killed him. And it's like, no, that was me, dude. It's like, oh, fuck. Damn.
I'm dead.
I got him.
That was me.
Anyways, it's really fun. I'll get the blood flowing because you're trying to creep around and not get caught by shit. So anyways, it's been fun. I've been enjoying it.
Reminds me of PUBG. I used to play a lot of PUBG with my friend, and that was a similar sort of game. You have a little bit more. You have a map, and it's like a true battle royale where the fog encloses in.
Yeah, and you want to be the last one standing.
But it was sort of like I think H1Z1 was like the first. The first one, and I think it had zombies in it. I'm not 100% sure. I remember Trick2G is streamer.
Yeah,
I used to play it a ton. Do you know Trick, the League streamer?
Oh, he did. Was he like the Udyr? Is it Udyr?
Yeah, Udyr. Yeah, the Go Deer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I used to watch his videos and study them back when I was super into League.
Dude, he was an absolute beast when he was younger, for sure. In the early seasons of League.
Yeah, okay.
His style is sort of not. It hasn't progressed well with the game. It got a lot more aggressive.
Okay.
But I was of his school too. It's very greedy. It's so fun. But anyways, he used to play H1Z1 on stream, so I was like watching those, and then PUBG came out. And I think it was like the next sort of iteration of the battle royales. It's a pretty janky game in its own right, but it was a little bit cleaner than H1. And then Fortnite's and Apex and stuff came out. A lot more polished games.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like battle royale is a weird one. It kind of came out. It feels like it came out of nowhere. Like even H1Z1. It started off as like an Arma mod, which is like another game that's like a super realistic military shooter. Oh boy. But yeah, battle royales came in, and even Jagex was like, we have to capitalize on this.
I mean, have you seen the Japanese movie Battle Royale?
Yeah, I have. It's good. Have you seen it? Yeah,
it's around the 80s, I think, right?
Something like that. But it's
really old. Yeah, it's
good.
A good movie. And then it's like Hunger Games was kind of based on that, and then the whole craze.
Yeah, Hunger Games took that idea. Yeah, it was. What was it? It starts off with a bunch of kids in like a class, and they're like,
taken to an island, and then there's people with guns. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
there's some absolutely juiced players, and then there's just a bunch of kids. And there's like the nerd kid who goes on the phone and like whips up some devices.
Oh man, yeah, that was a pretty good movie. Yeah, and then Hunger Games came out, and they got super popular, and then the video games.
Yeah, very cool concept for sure, dystopian concept.
Oh boy. So yeah, I've been playing a bit of Escape from Tarkov. It's pretty fun, but if it's a game that if anyone's listening, it's like, I've kind of wanted to play it, but I don't have anyone to play it with. Man, jump in the Discord. I've been having a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's only been in beta for like 6 years. That's what Chick said.
Yeah, I had a few friends that are like, I don't buy games that are in beta. And I was like, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
This game's never going to leave beta. Just accept it.
Yeah. They have huge dreams for it. And even me who just started playing it, I'm like, wow, good luck with that. Yeah, we'll see where it is in 10 years from now, but that's fine.
Sweet, dude. I'm glad you've been dipping in some other games.
Yeah, it's been fun. It has been fun. But what have I been doing for RuneScape? Well, I guess the cool thing that we kind of did in the clan was there's a YouTuber named Hanani, and she made this new series, which was honestly, I can't believe no one else has done this yet, or at least it hasn't already been popularized. But she made this series that really that people really enjoyed. But she made an account where she just gave out the password and the username to her community. And then just like, you know what, this is our community account. Let's let anyone play on it and see where it gets. So anyways, I had some people request, we should do that for the clan. So the other, early on this week, I kind of made one for an Ultimate Iron Man, an Iron Man, and just a normal account. And it's been kind of cool. It's been cool just like, I like logging in and seeing that somebody's playing it. Or sometimes I'll go to play on one of them and it's like this account's already logged in. And you're like, oh, snap.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, it's cool. It's one of those things that I think you can't go in being like, I can't wait to like really gear up this account. It's like, no, someone's going to swipe a bunch of shit eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, for sure.
I think the idea is like, get the stats up, fill out the collection log. That'll be cool. Yeah, you can't focus on like getting rich on any of the accounts because,
it's still fun though. It's a great little concept. And if you have I feel like our community isn't the one that's going to like, take the account and destroy it. So I think we're in pretty good hands here.
Yeah, like I mean, if you put a Tebow on there, someone's probably going to snag it because I mean,
yeah, obviously, but I mean, as long as it's like reasonable items, no one's just gonna go over and like take the rune plate body from the Iron Man.
Yeah, or like even just if you have your untradables, that's kind of gear for life for the most part, which is kind of cool. I love the idea of like, maybe it's a good idea to grind out the go to Barbarian Assault, and it's gonna suck, but grind out that fighter helmet or the penance helmet. And it's kind of, I think it's like it acts like a warrior helmet and a Zerker helmet or somewhere in between. Anyways, you get that and boom, you've got it. Anyway, so it's been cool. That's a cool little concept. And then the other thing that we did, I know you and Cosmonaut put on this event.
Yes.
God, it was last weekend.
Last Saturday.
And it was kind of like Escape from Tarkov in the wilderness. Sort of.
Basically, yeah, it was cool. So we basically had like a very small starting sum, like 50K between our teammates. And then we just had to go into the wilderness and make as much money as you could in 90 minutes using whatever method you wanted to. So I was with Zran. We had an absolute great time, and we all had like our little Discord rooms. We could dive in and go through some strategies. So Zran and I immediately went to Black Gins and tried to catch as many as we could, which was a great call because we ended up getting 60K in like, maybe 5-6 minutes.
Damn.
It was great. Yeah, so we were absolutely kidding. And then Koss and his teammate decided to come and try and kill us.
Oh, yeah.
But they were in such rag gear, it was just never going to happen. So we escaped, and then we went back to the GE, and I had this plan all concocted already. Buy a dragon sword, and then just go and do green dragons for an hour and a half. And that's exactly what I did. I looked like a bot. I had Addy, Black D-Hide, and I just, every time I went to the bank, had like 70K, and I would just increase my my gear.
Yeah.
And Zran was doing like a bunch of different content. She did like chins, and I went to help protect or like fight off people at Chaos Druids. It was so much fun. But by the end of it, I was so kitted. I had what's it called? I had like dragon plate skirt, dragon helm, the short sword. Yeah, just all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, you were beefed out. Yeah.
We ended up making quite a little bit of money, but we had an absolute blast, man. And then in the end, we just had like a little PK session in the Clan Wars, and overall high quality event. And I would love to do it somewhere like Green Dragons ended up being obviously too strong because it was so consistent.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun event, and that was like, again, I was getting kind of bored of my account a bit. I've mentioned before I was playing like RuneScape 3, and sometimes I go my Iron Man, but I was getting kind of bored of old school RuneScape. But at an event like that, man, I had like so much fun doing it as well, and I was like sitting there like, we got to do this more often. Maybe do it where like every time we do it, it's like almost like a new season where you completely change it, just to make it, I think we should, different.
It feels to me like opening night of bingo where I just have way too many drinks and just like game for hours and hours on things I would never do, And
I think that's when RuneScape's the most fun.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not, if maybe you're early on in your account, but if you're like kind of just going through the motions and grinding your goals, those type of events will make you be like, man, that's fun. Like it's just
Man, like this is what you love about the game. It's like that personal connection. You get to meet someone new. I'd never really played much with Strand before, but we had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Like honestly, such a fun event. And I would absolutely suggest anyone, and I'm no PvPer, trust me. But I would absolutely suggest anyone come and sign up for it because it's just a really good time.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah, you just go in. Like I think at the end of the event, because you start off with 50K. I think I had 60K total when I was done because I got PK'd 3 times. And
yeah, that's the worst part is when you get PK'd. I did get a TB splashed on me when I had 500 skulled in 500K of gear by a guy in like the full, the scary full ARMs with the Tanzanite mutagen on or whatever. Scary stuff.
But it's fun. Then you go oh shit, we were running out of time. I was making no money, and I was like, someone had got in the Chaos Elder Druid robe, and it was like what, like 1.2 mil or something, I think, but dropped.
No, it's like there's like 200K now.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, but he got a big drop though, right? So, and it broadcast to everyone.
Oh my god, it was 200K. I thought there was so much more.
They're so cheap. So
okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah, the Wilderness. I feel like, have you watched Eevescape's videos, like the YouTube one where they do the battle royale with all the streamers?
I haven't, but I know that Jagex gave them like a whole world and everything. So it's something that I should go watch.
So basically, I'll spawn into a world and they slowly have to go. I think Moral Wreck is the final location. So like the inner circle of Tazar.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like certain time thresholds to get certain places, and they have to make their own gear or buy it. Like there's no grand exchange.
Yep.
I think that method would be really fun because then you and your teammate have to work together, and you spawn all in like random locations, I think.
Okay, cool.
I'm not fully sure. Or you have like a certain like setup to start with. I can't remember what they did. Like a little bit of money and you get like an axe, kind of like Rarg and Link's Ocarina do, where they just fight each other and they have certain parameters.
Okay.
Just that kind of thing just spices up the game.
Yeah, it makes it fun.
Really
and
cool. Yeah, I'd love to do a from scratch one where we don't use the GE and have to like try and make our own items or like buy them.
You could do it like there's so many different ways you can do it if you want, but you could do like PvP worlds only,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you could go try to PK people, but it's really easy to just teleport away, so it's kind of wasting everyone's time. Anyways, point is, it was a fun event. That was a good time.
Yeah, you could go do bosses on PvP worlds. Like, there's a bunch of cool things that you could do, and I think it would be very fun.
Yeah. So anyways, more to come.
We'll set up some more events in the future. Absolutely.
Totally.
But bingo is coming up in like a month now.
Ooh, have you guys been working on it?
We've been talking about it. We're in the early stages of chatting, so Weez and I will be touching up the board again this time.
Nice.
Some fresh ideas for it, but we're hoping to get another 60 people out last week of August, I think, is the plan.
Cool.
So likely the 23rd to kind of 28th kind of range.
Nice. Very cool.
In there somewhere past the 20th for sure.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That will be fun.
Yeah, so we're like 30 minutes in and we haven't talked about combat achievements.
Yeah, maybe it's time for combat achievements. Because anyways, that was my week in a nutshell. So let's hop into the news then. All right, so the first thing that we have to talk about is the big ol' combat achievements. This is probably one of the big updates of the year. A lot of people were looking forward to it. So it finally came out, and with it came a lot of really cool stuff. So first things first, what are combat achievements? I think we're going to start off with this is where a lot of people came into this, were kind of upset, or maybe they were disappointed by it. A lot of people thought that this was going to be like the achievement diaries, when really this is closer to being just their combat achievements, similar to like with Xbox and PlayStation. You can get you unlock achievements that don't really give you anything except for like points usually, which the points don't mean anything. Kind of like a collection log for combat achievements
for PVM.
Yeah,
it's like a PVM collection log, but not for items, but for like accomplishments.
Yeah. So I think people came into this thinking it was going to be like achievement diaries. Now, the problem is Jagex first called them PVM achievement diaries, and then they changed it to combat achievement tasks. And they did do a lot of relating things about it to the achievement diaries, which I think set it up to fail in a lot of people's eyes. And that's where I came in. I was like, oh, this is disappointing. The rewards, we're going to get into it, but the rewards they're okay. They're kind of meh. They're kind of underwhelming. But in terms of just normal achievements, an achievement task system, okay, you know what? This is kind of cool. So they're broken down into different tiers. They have easy, medium, hard, elite, master, and grand master. And each one of these tiers will give you a different set of rewards. And they have some requirements or recommended requirements to go with it as well. So easy is like 60 combat stats. And then access to Mauritania, Wintertodt, Tempero, 62 Slayer. And with easy, they give you Barrows, Sarachnis, KBD, the Mole, free to play giant bosses. So those are grouped into the easy category. Medium with 70 base combat stats, which have Dagannoth Kings and Skotizo and some of the demi-bosses added in there. Hard is 80 base combat stats, which will give you God Wars Dungeons and Abyssal Sire, Grotesque Guardians, Wilderness bosses. This is just a general overview. It's there's a lot more to it than just, you have base 80 stats, you can go do Abyssal Sire. Of course, there's a little bit more to it than just that. So just to give you an idea. So elite, the bosses that are related to the elite tier would be some of the raids, Gauntlet, Fight Caves. Master is where things get really tricky. You start having some really hard tasks to do. And then, of course, Grandmaster is more than just doing the Inferno. It's being really, 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 really good at the Inferno. So if you think doing the Inferno is hard, getting Grandmaster completed would be even more tough.
I don't even think the Inferno tasks are the hardest part of that.
Oh, there seems to be a whole whack of...
There's so much. It's for the elite of the elite of the elite. It's top tier content, but it's nice to have something for those people to strive towards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you feel like you've completed the game, it's nice to, you always have pets you can kind of grind towards and stuff, but those are like long time related goals. It's kind of cool to have these like skill goals or skill tasks that
this is a version of a skill expression that we haven't really had in PVM before this. The only other version of it that we had was like speedrunning things.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Or doing things in like restricted gear. But now there's like an actual log or task log that shows you like how skilled you are at the game, basically.
So there's a quick little overview, but if you've played and maybe you're navigating the menus, you'll notice that they kind of change things around. So the first thing is they moved the minigame tab to the social tab menu. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's there. Kind of weird spot for it, but whatever. Point is, they gave you a portfolio overview, is what they're kind of thinking of it as. So this thing is pretty cool. It'll tell you on the screen. It'll tell you your combat level, your total experience, the quests you've completed, the achievements you've completed, your combat tasks completed, and your collection log completed. And then at the very bottom, for the masochists out there, you can see how long you've been playing.
You're gonna want to take a snip of this and stick it on the top corner of your resume where your picture is supposed to go. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Because it's cool because one, the collection log was a book beforehand, which you have to go into your bank and look at. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but now you just click it right on your menu and you can go look at your collection log, which is pretty awesome. And then you don't have to go to Hands and Lumbridge to see how long you've been playing. You can be constantly reminded. I'm at 276 days. Shit.
I am at... Do you want to guess what I'm at?
Ooh, higher or lower?
Lower.
154.
168.
168. Okay, not bad. So yeah, 267.
That's a lot of time.
That's a year. I'm getting 2/3 of a year, literally 24/7. That's a long time.
The big thing is when you made your account. That's the killer because it's hours per day. You can kind of break it down. You'd have less time but play more per day.
Yeah.
Anyways, we play too much. Thanks for letting us. Thanks for reminding us.
It's a lot, but it's like I jumped into old school RuneScape in 2013 when it first came out. the worst part is I look at 276 and I'm like, wow, I'm still not maxed. What's the EHP for maxing?
2K hours probably.
1.6K if you're top peak. 3K is like the fair.
Chill.
So what's 276 times 24? I am at I'm at 6,600 hours and I'm still not even that close to maxing.
So you're double the HP. Whatever, man. You have a good time.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Like, I've played a lot of this game, but I've also enjoyed almost all of my time in it and made a lot of good friends.
Oh, same. And
It's been valuable to me. So
yeah, I would not trade this time for anything.
yeah, I'm not upset about it for sure.
I'm gonna tell my girlfriend afterwards. Just
it's all about outlook, dude, for sure.
yeah, no. What you gotta do at this time, you have to go to like somebody you know, like your parents or something, and be like, I've played RuneScape for 276 days straight, 24 hours a day.
Dude, my girlfriend said something to me yesterday. I was talking about. She asked me something about RuneScape, and then I said, I can't remember what the conversation was, but basically she said, you know, you've been playing that game for like 18 years. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so
much.
yeah, at this point it's like it's not even like gaming, it's like how you would watch TV, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Major hobby for sure.
So it's crazy.
But yeah, it's cool. It's nice to have that little hub with everything sort of together in one place. It looks really clean.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. And with that, when you click into your combat achievements, of course you'll have your they break it down like combat profile, so you can go to each easy, medium, hard, elite, master, grandmaster section to see what kind of tasks are there. But what's really cool is that one, it gives you a little bit more of a combat profile, so it'll tell me how many tasks I've done or how many boss kills I've done. So I'm at 11.5 thousand boss kills total.
Damn, dude, you're up there.
430 skilling bosses. I've done 192 raids total. My number one boss is Kraken at 2,700.
I feel like that's everyone's
top
it's
gonna be everyone's. So you get a cool little portfolio, a little profile there to see your little run through. And then what's really cool is you can go to there's a boss section where you can click into the boss, and it's kind of great for someone who's new to the game. So like I have a friend who's just started playing. This game can be very overwhelming, but now I could point him and say, hey, go look at this boss, the boss menu, and you can click it. It'll show you a picture of the boss. It'll give you a quick overview. So for example, I click into Alchemical Hydra. It says this is a boss found in the depths of Karum Slayer Dungeon within Mount Karum. And it tells you its attack styles, which is ranged magic. It's immune to poison and venom. It's in the Hydra Slayer category. Then there's a tab that says difficulty. When I click that, I'll tell you the requirements for it. So it'll say like 95 Slayer. You need the Hydra Slayer task. And then you can click on, there's 3 buttons above the boss. One of them is the collection log, so you can go see what items you've gotten. There's locate Alchemical Hydra, so you click on it, it'll bring you to the world map, and then it'll zoom in where you can find the boss. And there's a wiki button, so you can go look it up on the wiki. So I love that menu. You can look at it, you can someone who's new to the game can see every boss that's available in the game itself. It's really cool, and you can it's great for anyone, who's just hasn't bossed, and they can see like, oh, these are the different bosses. Is it hard to fight? Could I do it right now? You know, bring me to the wiki page. It's really cool. I'm a huge fan of what they've done with this whole new interface that they've built out.
Should we? What do you want to do? Talk about a few of the tasks, or
well, let's get into the rewards real quick before we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call.
Because this is where I think this is when people are disappointed. This is a large reason for it, because they're not a huge fan of the rewards, and I can understand when you compare these rewards to an achievement diary. It feels a little lackluster, but when you compare it to just like an achievement system like everything else does, you usually don't get any reward. So this is kind of cool to have that. So when you complete easy, you get a Gommel's Hilt, which gives you daily Trollheim teleports. You get 3 of them. You get a 5k experience lamp. Your drop chance of clue scrolls from easy clue scrolls is increased by 5%, excluding imps. And the maximum quantity assigned from like a boss slayer reward increases by 2. So I think normally it's max of 32. So at least with this is 34.
35.
Oh, 35. Okay, so
37 now.
not 37.
Yep.
Then medium increases your daily Trollheim teleports, increases your experience, allows the drop chance of medium clue scrolls, and of course the maximum quantity of the Like a Boss Slayer increases by 4. Hard does the exact same thing, continues to increase them. You get unlimited Trollheim teleports. The drop chance of ecumenical keys is increased by 8%. Which is pretty nice. The kill count required to access God Wars is reduced from 40 to 38. You can access a private rented God Wars instance for a fee of 150k, and you can combine the KBD head with a Dragon Hunter crossbow to recolor it.
That was for hard.
Yeah,
right?
so that one's for hard. Elite, again, further increases the rewards as stated above, but you can also get a daily teleport to Moral Wreck, which is where the Inferno is.
Nice.
And you can recolor your Dragon Hunter crossbow with a Vorkath's head. And you get access to the Jad Slayer helmet, which looks pretty cool.
This is for elites, and it's really sick.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of like a strawberry helmet, but I'm totally down. It looks pretty badass.
It looks very good.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
Of the three, I think it's my second favorite.
Yeah, fair enough. So next is Masters. Again, everything continues to increase as listed above, but this time you get access to the Vampiric Slayer helmet, which is the Theater of Blood recolor, basically.
Yeah, it's also very cool. It's like purple and gold themed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And finally, the Grandmaster, the big daddy of rewards. Everything continues to increase. You get unlimited teleports, 50k experience, which is nice. Runecraft or agility. Which one are you going to choose? But the big one is you get the Zuck Slayer helmet recolor. Is that your favorite Slayer helmet?
I mean, it's unbelievably cool.
Yeah, and it's a helmet that you see someone with, and you're going to be like,
you're going to be turning heads with that thing.
It's one that, like, you know, not many people are getting their Inferno capes. Even less people are going to be getting this helmet.
Yeah, so Infernal capes are already a sign that you're very good at the game. This is like 10 steps beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't just getting an Infernal cape. Many people can get an Infernal cape. Very, very few people will be able to get this thing. People have been suggesting that the rewards aren't worth it for specifically Master and Grandmaster, but I completely disagree. This helmet will be like the ultimate status symbol in the game if you can get it. And I think that's motivation enough for the people that are good enough to do these things to do them.
Yeah, I think, like, again, if you break this down to and compare it to a achievement diary, okay, maybe it's not as good as if we had Grandmaster for achievement diaries, that those would probably be better. But that being said, let's think of this as a collection log for PVM tasks, in which case, I mean, we probably shouldn't even be getting rewards for that, but we are getting rewards, so that's pretty cool. That's all right. Yeah,
so I have a great comparison for this. So what's the best pet in the game?
Oh,
what do you think?
Like the best.
What's your favorite? What's your personal favorite pet that turns your head every time you see it?
Shit. I mean, Calfight Queen's pretty cool. That's a big one.
Okay, let's just say Dusted Omelet for argument's sake.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that's a dope.
So
one.
To get a Dusted Omelet, you need to be able to complete Chambers of Zarek, which is not hard. And B, you need to be not hard by comparison to other PVM things, okay? And B, you need to be able to do CMs, which when you've already done enough raids to get the omelet, like in a reasonable KC, you're probably going to be fine to do CMs, okay?
Sure.
It's really not that big of a step up, especially if you're doing it in teams. That theoretically just takes time and some skill. What's another thing that turns heads? Mutagens. You have to be able to kill Zelda.
Yeah.
Sure, it's like mid-level PVMing. Not med-level, but it's like something you can get into with very little gear. But that just takes time to get. That's all it is. These Zuck things not only do they take time, this Zuck Slayer Helm takes lots of time, but it also takes like an incredible amount of skill.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be the single most coveted item in the game, and I think very, very few people will have it. I think under 100 people.
Oh, yeah.
Even within a year. Now, one of the tasks is complete 10 Infernos, which seems like a lot, but when you're good at Inferno, it's easy for you.
That's probably one of the easier ones.
There are 1,500 people in the game that have completed 10 Infernos. let's just say only a small percentage of those. That just gives you a ballpark of sort of who would be even thinking about going for this kind of stuff. That's your ballpark region. I think a large majority of those will not be completing the GM tasks. What do you think the hardest one is? I'm curious. Or like top few.
Well, that's the thing. I'm looking through some of them, even just like right now, and I'm like looking at them like looks pretty damn hard. For instance, like if you haven't done the Corrupted Gauntlet, you won't quite understand. But there's one where it's like don't make any prayer potions. I make 3 prayer potions when I'm doing Corrupted Gauntlet.
That one's doable. I've done that one actually.
Okay, so you've done that one. General Grardor killed 2 General Grardors consecutively in a privately rented instance without taking any damage from his bodyguards. That's doable. You just have to be able to flick them, but still, that sounds goddamn hard.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
Killed Kriera 30 times without leaving the room. I can kill 2 or 3, and that's if I'm lucky.
That one's doable for sure. If you bring you can get lucky for sure. Remember, I think you don't need to do that. You can do this with someone else, as far as I know. Like that doesn't have a restriction on doing it by yourself.
Well, it's just privately instance.
Then it does have a restriction.
Okay,
my bad.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, they all look pretty tough. Completed Chambers of Zarek in less than 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Damn, that's quick. That's like how long it takes me at Ulm. Longer, maybe.
12 minutes. Is that what scale is that though?
5-man.
That's not too bad. If you can, that's doable. I think world record's like sub 10, and it's 14 minutes. Oh no, that's Theater of Blood. My bad. Yeah, it's hard, dude. It's hard.
Yeah, a lot of these. Yeah, they are tough. Kill Zolra in less than 54 seconds. Let me see what mine is.
Mine's 56, so
57 seconds. So what was it? 54?
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
So that's doable. And I don't even have good gear, so it's definitely doable.
Anyways, there's a bunch of these tasks here, and they're all at least a little bit tough.
So I think the hardest ones are the Theater of Blood hard mode ones, because my God, you have to do some disgusting things like complete Theater of Blood hard mode with no deaths and without anyone buying anything from the supply chest. You've also got stuff like you have to complete a perfect Theater of Blood, which means you have to do all the perfect rooms, like not take any damage in all of them. And the worst part about that is those require teammates.
Yeah.
You can't do these by yourself. You need to know people that are equally skilled. And then the melee Zuck one is the melee Inferno is crazy. I saw Wooks trying to do it yesterday on stream using basically you can't use your twisted bow until you get to Zuck.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or Magic, I think. Anyways, he was in full Justy with a scythe, just trying to prayer flick all the waves, which takes an insane amount of concentration. I know they're definitely doable though for that caliber of player that can do 10 Infernos. It's nice. Are they doable for the average player? Absolutely not. I don't think anyone in our CC, maybe 1 or 2 people could strive for this kind of level. It's pretty rare, but I'm really glad that there's huge skill progression in this. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. You don't want people are complaining. People are complaining about it. They're being like the average person can't complete it, and it's like you don't want the average person to be able to complete Grandmasters because then what? You want. It's nice having shit to work towards, right? And as great as it is to have, 99, you're skilling up and getting level 99s and stuff. Those are ultimately time grinds. And I love the idea of introducing more skill-based grinds where it doesn't matter how much time you spend working on some of these achievement tasks. It's not a time-based thing. You just got to be good.
Yeah, I think if you've got a pretty good experience in PVM, you'll be able to get up to elite for sure.
And then if you really want to do Grandmaster, you're really having to study what you're doing wrong, what you need to do to get that PB or to get that.
Well, there's a step between this master between that. I think master is going to be very, very difficult. Also gear and sort of wealth dependent when you get into sort of those levels.
Yeah.
Like you're definitely going to need a twisted bow and a scythe to get into sort of the Master Plus area.
Mhm.
But if you're doing all that kind of content, like Elite has like you have to kill 250 of X boss, you've probably got a decent little bit of money around you, about you. So all doable for sure.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
And it's nice that like, you know, I have these pets that I'm grinding for, and again, pets really come down just like a time thing. But I love being like, you know what? I'm going to kill this boss that I want the pet for, but I'm also going to do it to try to unlock the achievement. I was doing a bit of Syrachnus earlier just because, you know, I'm doing the tasks. And Syrachnus is a cool boss. And I have it on my list, but I always kind of like low tier because you don't make great money from it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to kill some Syrachnus and I'm going to be trying to complete the task. And if you don't know already, and anyone out there who's trying to complete tasks, go into the menu settings and you can turn it on so that when you fail a task, it'll tell you right away so you can know that you failed it. But one of the things with Syrachnus is it shoots these 2 ranged attacks at you. Well, it shoots a ranged attack at you after it webs you down. One of the achievements is allow Syrachnus to only shoot 1 ranged attack and not 2, which means you have to be really quick. So you have to close that gap really quick before they fire it off. So I'm out there killing it.
Did you get it?
No, I haven't got it. I haven't done a whole lot of kills with it, but
There's actually a trick at Syrachnus. There's like this invisible box on the inside, and if you stay within it, you're able to get to every attack with only 1 ranged hit.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. So
Yeah, I'll have to send you the tiles for it. It's like right in the middle. It's like a 5x4 box, and as long as your character is within them, you'll be able to reach Syrachnus before it shoots a second range attack every time.
So that's cool.
So yeah, it's like it's like figuring out those kind of things. That's the cool part. Is like it's day one. You're trying to figure out these different methods for completing tasks, which I think is such a great puzzle solving type part of the game that we don't usually get to do because everything has a meta.
Yeah,
there's no meta for these yet. So that's one of the best parts about early days and combat achievements.
Eventually, there'll be YouTube videos on how you can defeat certain ones. There's gonna be groups where you can carry it, but it's fun learning it on your own, like trying to figure out how am I going to have to kill, there's we were talking in the Discord earlier, someone was trying to work on getting the DKs, and one of them is killing all 3 DKs within like 6 seconds of each other, or 6 seconds of the first one dying, you got to kill the other 2. And you kind of have to start theory crafting. Okay, there's different ways you could do it, and it's kind of fun having to like almost problem solve how you're going to get, how are you going to defeat that task? How are you going to complete it? So, and then while you're at it, you're also passively kind of going for the pet if that was your grind beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice.
Yeah, there's so many cool things. I did all the cow fight ones yesterday because I have a task.
Yep.
And I was getting a little burnt on Gauntlet. I did way too many yesterday.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it was cool. One of them was kill it with a Verax flail only.
Oh, interesting.
And I struggle. I don't have a full Verax.
Oh,
so
no.
I was sitting there pummeling. I thought luckily I was on task, but it ended up having to go back to the bank, re-gear on food, and then go back down and keep pumping away.
Yeah.
So just some different ways to kill bosses. It's very fun.
Yeah. It changes things up. It keeps it exciting. So it's a very fun task. And they have a little competition going on right now. So they're basically just giving a year's membership to each person who can be the first to complete easy, medium, hard, elite, master, and grandmaster. But the cool thing is elite, master, and grandmaster, they have a King Black Dragon building set, which is kind of like, I don't think it's Lego, but it's like something like that, where you get to build a King Black Dragon. RuneScape does these weird things. So that's a cool reward. We can see people kind of racing for that. I was talking to a buddy.
Hopefully it won't take a year to get it sent to you.
Yeah, if you ever even get it. It's funny though. We play Dungeons and Dragons with a few people in the clan, but I have a friend that plays with us as well, and he doesn't play RuneScape at all, and he just doesn't understand why so many people like this game. And we were just talking to him about it. I'm like, man, you don't even understand. Like, RuneScape is more than just a game. Jagex released official lo-fi music of like RuneScape music, which is really cool. We were telling him like, and the content creator like Swampletics, he released a movie that had like movie posters and everything, and Jagex has like this. They did like a symphony concert where they had them performing a bunch of the music. It's like RuneScape is like it's more than just a game, and you won't understand it until you understand it. Anyways, so throwing that all into the mix, we now have almost like a Lego set, or maybe it's Mega Blocks or Connects. Is it Connects?
Duplo. I don't know. There's a bunch of different types.
Anyways, that's pretty cool that they have that. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the achievement diaries, and what it has me thinking would be cool is having like a full-on achievement system where, you know, RuneScape 3 has this. A lot of games have this, including Steam, Xbox, PlayStation 4, or PlayStation, where you can unlock like achievements for games. And I think it would be really cool. And people have been asking for like changing the way combat achievement tasks are. Instead of having it like completing the tasks, having it like a point system similar to like League's was, so that you can, I don't know, you get awarded points instead, which is very similar to how achievements generally work for like Xbox and other games. Like Destiny has that system, and RuneScape 3 does, where you just get points for completing tasks. And what I was thinking, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are, but with this being introduced, I'd be so for having just a full-on achievement set, achievements for the entire game in itself. So not just combat, but you know what? Give me an achievement completed when I finish a quest. Give me an achievement completed when I do an X amount of clue scrolls. Give me an achievement when I hit level milestones for my skills. You know, it's something that a lot of other games have, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. Personally, I think being able to like one day look at my achievement score, which you don't have to have any rewards tied to it, but just having an achievement score to be like, oh, you know, I have whatever it is.
I feel like this sort of hub that they introduced is our version of that. That shows like the quests, completed combat tasks, collection log. So I think we already have quite a bit. I'm just afraid that I don't want to overload people with like achievements.
That's the problem with this game. People are very completionist with RuneScape, even though like also very impossible to be a completionist for this game because there's so much to do and so many big grinds.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. So as a new player, as like an enfranchised player who's done most of the things, it's like, yeah, more stuff, but you don't want to like overwhelm people either.
Yeah. Maybe it's something for the future.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
This could be like the foundation for something like that if they ever wanted to do it. Now, that being said, how do you do it without people getting pissed? Because people were very upset about this because they felt like the rewards weren't great. They felt like some of the tasks were too hard. And I think it's some people, this just doesn't click with them that, you know, tasks
I feel like
are tough.
Anything Jagex releases, there's always people that are going to be upset with it, like overly upset with it. And they tend to flock to Reddit and immediately post without thinking, which then sort of just gets everyone up and it like hyped up about these certain small fractions of opinions, when I don't really think that if you actually have a think about it and actually try them for yourself, you would realize they're like quite fun. I feel like the real gripe with this sort of thing is like, this is what it took you a year to get this out. That's where I would come at it from. That's the angle I would come from. Like combat achievements, this was the big hype for the year, and like, yeah, it's fun, but really this took a whole year to come up with.
Yeah, that's the tricky one.
Seems like surely not. But we've talked about this before with them just being slow.
Yeah.
But if you take that out of the equation, I think it's very refreshing for the game.
It is. It's nice to have things to do that aren't straight up. That's the thing. People get so focused on being efficient and doing things to like progress their account. It's nice when you have stuff like this. It's nice when you have social events that, like, you know, how you and Kaz had put one on last weekend. Things that like literally aren't really necessarily progressing your account. Like doing these tasks, you know, it's not necessarily progressing your account. You might make some money, but it's probably not the most efficient way to make money if you're banging out tasks. Again, the Slayer helmet, well, it's really cool. You probably already have it. You're just recoloring it, which is, don't get me wrong, it's super cool. But
it's still awesome, and it's like a great motivation to try and complete all these things. At the end of the day, it's all about like getting goals, right?
Yeah, goals, and it's a fun way of, these are like more fun. These goals are more engaging than just
fun way to interact with the game. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy for it.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go for the elite I don't think I can do I've done some master and grandmaster tasks, but I cannot complete them with my current items.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things. It's not balanced around Iron Man.
Yeah.
And nor should it be. I'm never asked they balance anything about an Iron Man. I don't think that's how the game should work. Like, we chose to restrict ourselves and we have to live with the consequences. But yeah, I'd probably go for Elite. The Jad helm is really cool. It gives me something to sort of grind towards for later.
Yeah.
And they're all doable tasks with my current gear and sort of like PVM skills. So I'm definitely excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Are you thinking about going for a certain level?
I think, you know what? It's one of those things. I don't know what I could do right now. That's the thing. But I like, I'm starting off on easies. I ticked away a bunch of those yesterday, moving on to like medium afterwards and just completing them one by one, obviously. But like I said, I've been kind of bored, and I love the idea of going to Zulrah, and now instead of like just killing it for money, I'm like, no, I'm going to try to get 54 seconds. I'm going to try to beat it by, I don't know, gives me a new way of looking at bosses when I'm doing them, instead of just flat kill them for money, kill them for the pet drop.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, with that being said, again, people have been pretty, people can get a little feisty about stuff like this, and they have been. And actually, did you watch this week's Q&A?
Yeah, it was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, it was.
I saw the clips. I didn't actually watch the whole thing.
I saw the clip too. So Mod Husky came on, and he was like, actually, here, let's just listen to the clip itself.
One thing I did just want to touch on a little bit is that, like, I know there's a lot of people in the chat going on about Jewel Arena and oh my god, and there's a lot of actual toxicity going on in chat. And I know it's a Twitch chat and I know it's the internet, but you guys sometimes really make it difficult to want to come on these Q&As and give you guys dev insights. We can't talk about the Jewel Arena because we're not part of the leadership team. So please save those for the leadership stream. Put the questions to those. But you're already maybe noticed that some of these weeks there are 2 or 3 devs coming on, and it's because people just don't want to come in and deal with this in the chat and have personal insults and have like people go on about things that are, we can't answer and you guys should know. So please, guys, just try and, I know it's the internet, I know people just say, oh, just deal with it, but like, it's not our job to be on Q&As. We do this quite often. People stay back extra in their spare time to do this, just to engage and just to get the feedback with you guys and just to try and get this engagement with the community. So,
and then Aiza even went on the subreddit afterwards to being like, yeah, it's not just Twitch is bad though, but same thing with Reddit and Twitter. JMods are less wanting to open up Twitter and look at it because of all the hateful comments they're getting.
Yeah, I feel like our community, unfortunately, especially with our age bracket, like, we get a lot of great people, great content creators, but we also get the same sort of in the negative on the spectrum there.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a lot of people that are like maybe unhappy with their lives, or who really knows where it's coming from, but just a lot of like toxicity. Which is sort of the what's it called? The Diagon Alley of RuneScape.
The Diagon Alley, what's that?
Oh, Diagon Alley is the good one from Harry Potter. What's the dark alley called?
Man, I'm actually, Harry Potter's my next book to read. I'm on the final 2 chapters of Dune.
Really? You never read it?
I've read like the first 2 books. Okay, this is
Nocturne Alley. Obviously, that's what it's called. So in like one of the books, there's like 2 alleys. Diagon's like the classic wizard's alley where they get everything, all their like wands.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And then Nocturne Alley is like the sketchy alley where you go to get your like backwater herbs,
you get like drugs and stuff.
Your wizard drugs or the higher sketchy people. And one of them, Harry, ends up there. So, anyways, we have people on both sides of the street. Is what I'm saying. And it just tends to be pretty extreme in our community.
Yeah, fair enough. Quick story about Harry Potter, though. Like, I've seen the first 2 movies, I think, and I read the first 2 books, and I loved it. I thought it was really, really cool. And then there was like a big span of time went by where I didn't watch any movies in between, and I was in high school, like my last year of high school, and some friends were like, we're gonna go watch the new Harry Potter movie, do you want to come? And I was like, oh yeah, I loved watching Harry Potter. I liked watching them do Quidditch and liked watching them in school, and I liked when they went to Diagon Alley to like purchase the broom. So I was like the Nimbus 3000 or whatever it was.
Nimbus 2000
2000.
Oh yeah,
not quite 3000. But anyways, we're like, I can't wait to go. I'm like, I'm gonna smoke a bunch of weed. I'm gonna get like super stoned and go watch it because I just want to watch them play Quidditch and do the fun stuff and eat the jelly beans and take the train and stuff. And we went, and it was like part 2 of the Deathly Hallows, and I was like, yo, what the hell is going on here? And it's like, there's a war on Hogwarts, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I don't remember any of the movies because I was so confused. I was like, yo, when are they gonna play Quidditch?
Yeah, the early ones are really good. I don't so much like the old ones, but the books are definitely worth a read.
Yeah, I want to read them because I guess I hit a point when I was like in high school. I was like, reading's dumb.
Yeah.
And then I just fell out of
Like,
Harry Potter stuff. But now I wish I didn't. So
yeah, you get back into it. But anyways, there's a small tangent on the community. It was pretty brutal in the Twitch chat. A lot of like pretty terrible misogynistic behavior as well, which is not uncommon against the JMods, which is sad to see.
yeah, and it's it's less about complaining about the update and also doing personal attacks, which is also rough. And guys, don't be shitty. Luckily, I think it's a small minority of people who are just shitty people making those comments. Unfortunately, they can sometimes cut through the noise on social media.
Also, fine, like when updates come out, stay off Reddit for a bit and form your own opinion, like based on like actually you trying the content, and then go and check out Reddit to see what some other people think or talk in the clan. Because I think that's part of the problem is like there's this hive mind of like a couple people like or like Jagex, this update sucks and like no one can do it. It's like, yeah, well, there's stuff for you there and there's stuff for other people there.
Yep.
And if you tried the content, you'd realize that it's actually very fun.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah, anyway, so it's a little bit of a.
That's all I have to say.
Yep. So, anyways, I am happy with it, and the cool thing is, I'm assuming, they got to as new bosses get released, they'll be adding more and more achievements, which I'm sure will peeve some people off. But still, I'm excited to see more and stuff get added and giving us different ways to tackle different bosses. And all right, so that was combat achievements. Next, we got. We'll make this one quick. It's our Slayer improvements. So they added a bunch of new not recolors. They redesigned the recolored Slayer helmets. Because beforehand, they were just the same Slayer helmet with different colors. Now they full on changed it, which look pretty sick. What are your thoughts on the Slayer helmets? Do you like them? Do you hate them?
I like them overall. I think they look pretty good. I know some people don't like them. I have the KBD one. I'm a little bit disappointed in it.
Yeah,
it's a little bit gray. The gray BD. Maybe that's just me, but I found it a little bit gray. But yeah, overall the helmets are really nice. Especially like Vorkath is way nicer than I thought.
Yeah, it's got like 2 horns, but one of the horns is like broken off. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, the red one I thought was going to be kind of lame, the Abyssal Demon, because I thought it was just going to be the same. It looks really good. The colors are nice. Skatizo is solid. Yeah, they're just all very nice helmets. What's your opinion?
I like them. I like that they all aren't just recolors now and they're like full on redesigns where like KBD, they're like complaining, like, of course they're going to complain. It's got 3 horns, but KBD doesn't have 3 horns. And it's like, well, you get the point. You get the point between the 3 horns.
Every one of them has their own like unique flair. They're not just a slap of color, for sure. I definitely like that about it.
Yeah, and like KBD has like the antennas from an insect. It looks sick. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they're wicked. They're pretty cool stuff. And then of course we got a few extra little Slayer stuff, and you can now, what is it? You can hold tasks or save your task for later. I haven't had a chance to use this yet because I'm still stuck in my wildy task.
You have to pay 1,000 Slayer points to be able to do it.
To unlock it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I don't think it's worth for any account.
But it's great if you want to do it later, I guess.
You're definitely right. It's good in that specific scenario. If you're like a weekend warrior that like really likes to group PVM, then and you do a lot of Slayer, then maybe it's worth for you. But almost for everyone else, it's just better to use those points to skip. Yeah.
Do you know if you can do some of the task and then save it like midway?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So I like that because there's a few times where I have like a task and I don't want to skip it because it's a good task, but I'm bored of killing Vorkath for the 3rd blue dragon task in a row. So it's nice to be like, I'm going to hold it, do some other stuff, and I'll come back to this one later.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just tend to like go and kill the baby blues then if that's the case.
True. That's another way of doing it.
Or like Cal fights, you get bored of killing KQ, you just go and, cannon the babies.
Well, maybe it's something where it's like greater demons and you want to do Krill Tutsaroth, but you don't feel like doing it right now. You're like, oh,
yeah, I see what you mean. There's some niche uses, but yeah, 1,000 points is no joke.
It's a lot. That being said, some people will have a surplus. I know I've got a bit of a surplus myself. 'Cause I've been doing Wildy Slayer.
You also can get the same task twice.
Oh, nice. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Well.
So if you get greater demons and then decide to save it, and you can get them like basically right away.
Anyways, it's a cool little addition that some people will make use of.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, it's not groundbreaking, game breaking if you don't. And finally, the last dev blog of the day is a mini poll blog. So nothing crazy here. They want to add a new amethyst spot in the mining guild that you could. At first, they were like, you can unlock it with Stardust. People were like, that's dumb. So they said, okay, what if we change it to an elite or hard diary instead? So they have that being pulled. They're asking, should it be possible to trade duplicate enhanced crystal seeds for crystal shards? So if you get lucky, get a whole bunch of them on your Iron Man. I don't know. Might be nice to get some extra crystal shards out of it.
Yeah, and I think it'll stabilize the price of the enhanced seed as well, because everything has its price. So yeah, good. Overall good.
They're asking, should an ultimate Iron Man be able to store the Bow of Ferdinand in a stash unit? Again, this is nothing major here. A lot of small tweaks. They're asking, should we change the weighting of the Sour Hogs? It's a very minor poll blog. Nothing major. That's coming out. If you're Ultimate Iron Man, there are a few big changes that could happen. Not big changes, but I feel like any change to an Ultimate Iron Man could be big depending on who you are. But boom. Yeah, guys, there you have it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. Anything you want to add on before we move on to wrap this show up?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back in a minute. All right, we're taking a quick break, and we're going to head over to the Grand Exchange, where we talk about anything and everything financially related. That's kind of a lie. We actually only talk about really how you can support the show. But one fun note, actually, I guess in the terms of, maybe this should be a whole RuneScape finance segment, and then we can tie in the supporter. Whatever. I was looking at the Jagex the employee board, or the place you can apply for jobs when they're hiring. And one of them they were looking for was economist. Let me pull it up here real quick. Here it is. It's for RuneScape, for old school RuneScape, right? So this is perfect. And it's senior product manager of the game economy. Isn't that sweet? Here, this is what it says here. We're currently looking for a talented senior product manager for the game economy. You'll be highly influential in driving the success of the game in Jagex's flagship MMORPG, Old School RuneScape, and an opportunity to work on one of the biggest blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it's basically you will be influential in driving the in-game economy features and improvements, and will collaborate closely with other roles to devise a strategy for content and feature releases. You'll be responsible for defining and managing economic features that create a fun player experience, and drive increased player conversion, engagement, and retention for both. My phone's going off. Why is it going off? Facebook has recommended me a new friend. Stop doing that. I don't need new friends. Wow, it's actually really boring to read through the actual job description, but yeah, it says exceptional skills, experience in building game economies, financial models, and defining data needs. Could you imagine being super well versed in not just finances or economics, but economics purely of old school RuneScape? Man, talk about a somewhat wasted skill. You're I know so much about the market and the economy, and they're North America and stuff. No. Old school RuneScape, specifically Varrock, the city of Varrock. I know that economy very well. Anyways, company benefits, flexible working, bonus scheme, Sounds like a scam. Private healthcare, gym membership. All right. Generous pension contributions. That's okay. Life insurance, free cycle repairs. Oh my god, you get your bike fixed. That'd be amazing. Income protection. All right. This sounds like kind of like, you know, when you go buy a car and they kind of try to sign you up to like rest protection and all that shit. This is a little dental plan. Okay. Free fruit and drinks. Nice. Subsidized canteen. All right, that seems all right. It actually does seem like a cool place to work, minus the poor pay from what everyone says. Anywho, doesn't really matter. There's your little RuneScape economy segment. So now we can finally we checked off what we need to. So now we can move on to the how you can support the show. That part of this segment. No, but seriously, if you guys want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/TheWildernessPodcast. We got some fun rewards there. We do like a live stream once a week. So it's like about an hour and a half where we chill. We watch the live stream. We talk a little bit about what's happening and kind of just like a little ramble and stuff. So we have that once a week as well. And then any bonus content, you get some early access there as well. Anywho, guys, you can patreon.com/TheWildernessPodcast. You can step to one of our tiers there. And so I have to welcome Mr. John Brown to the Patreon crew. Thank you so much for joining Patreon. Really appreciate that. And I want to thank, or more actually to dedicate this episode to Mr. Matt S., and of course all of our top tier supporters: Aiden A, Gentinu, Dreadful Monkeys, Mateo Was, Sejuan, Cynical Cyanide, Mallard, and Strosity with a super duper shout out. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Really do appreciate it. But hey, you know what? Patreon's not your thing. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Dills instead, where you can buy me a coffee. You actually just donate some money, and then I guess I'm supposed to go spend that money on coffee, which I think I do eventually. Anyways, Timbuktu25, Caradoc, Terry Paramore, It's a Cold World, 2JZ, 2JZ Soup, or 2JZ Soup. Thank you guys so much for the coffee and your support. It allows me or us to do we're doing a weekly skill of the week where people can win bonds and stuff, and honestly that wouldn't be able to be done without the support we get from the show. So thank you guys so much of our supporters on Patreon and buy me a coffee. So thank you guys so much. We really, really, really do appreciate that. Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap this show up. And yeah, no ands. I'm not sure why I tacked that on there. We're gonna wrap this show up now. We're back, and we got a couple emails to go through. So we'll quickly do that. And I know last episode I announced having a baby, and I had some people reach out with some advice on what I can expect and or do. So one thing that people had mentioned is save your AFK and your, buyable skills to when you have the kicks. You can pull out mobile and do those skills there, which
that's a smart one.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, you're not going to be trying to do the Inferno while you're doing whatever. I had another one reach out. Make sure the missus isn't listening to me right now. I had Big Nukes Meat reached out, someone in the clan chat here, and he said, trick is when the baby wakes you guys up in the middle of the night and the lady has to go tend to the kid. If you wake up with them, you'll score some brownie points. But when you're up with them, maybe sneak out a farm run or two. And it's like a double whammy. And I was like, shit.
Coming in with those big tips, eh?
Yeah. You get some brownie points and some experience on the side. So that's pretty sweet. And then we got a email from Mr. Matacause1, and he says, Glow 3, Wave 2, congratulations. Does a bunch of emotes. Jig, blow kiss, air guitar. And he says, I dropped my carrot when I heard the news, but you dropped the mic. That's so cool. You'll be the coolest dad. Hell, if I were born again with my choice of father, you would be in the top 50. Damn, I am flattered. And he says, but you just lose a few points for being Canadian. Ooh, that's
wow, shots fired. No thanks. You gain points for being Canadian, dude. Come on.
He's just kidding. But also, your brother would be a groovy uncle as well. And he says, I have a relevant question for you. In which old school RuneScape city would you want to raise your kid? Again, many congrats, and I send you best wishes. And if you pay for my international shipping, I'll send you diapers. Ooh, boy, that may be worth it eventually. So that's a good question. Where do you think is the best place to raise a family in RuneScape? Ooh, that's a very good question.
So
See, the
what are the
first-
options? Let's go through the options.
You got a whole lot to look at. You got if
Varrock, a little bit dirty, right?
That's
a
the
little
thing.
bit dirty, a little bit poor in Varrock.
there's a big class disparity in Varrock,
Huge,
right?
huge. Let's
Um,
go Lumbridge. Not much real estate available, mostly farmland.
Yeah.
Let's Sears Village. Too many monks for my liking. It's a hard no.
Sears Village isn't terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad. What about the Fremnik? Your kid would just be in the flax fields whenever you're gone though. You'd just be putting
Yeah.
him to work. What about the Fremnik?
It'd be like what is it? The movie 300 where the Spartans have to send a kid off to go kill a wolf in order to be like inducted into the tribe.
Yeah, I feel like the Fremi would be a little bit brutal physically on the child.
Yeah, and they have pet rocks there, right? Isn't one of the kids like has an actual pet rock? Like it's a little depressing.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Artie is good if you're like into sort of like conspiracy theories. If you can deal with that king.
I think Artie, you deal with kind of similar problems as Varrock, but they do a better job of like kind of, I guess, hiding
West
it.
Artie wouldn't be bad. There'd be a lot of cats to play with, or like parts of cats.
That's true. Although that's not really a good thing. I remember I used to carpool with a buddy, and he had a lot of stray cats in his neighborhood. And I remember, oh my god, when cats are like getting it on, like mating,
Oh Jesus! Oh, he does it the.
it's terrifying. The scream. Oh, yeah. Anyone who's ever heard cats getting it on, it's not.
Yeah, cats and heat is not. It's not a good time. So maybe a hard no on West Artie.
But they got a zoo. But Artie has a zoo. That's fun.
Oh, true. So Eastern Artie is not bad. What about like some of the non-human cities like Prif?
Prif's really big. I feel like it's good, but I feel like it'd be like if I were to move to Japan, I think it would be like a huge culture shock for me. And there'd be a lot to kind of, it would take me a while to adjust just because the way it's like, it's just like, it's very different than what I would be used to living in Canada. It's not super different, but I think a lot of the things that are different are just things you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there. Some good choices. We got some desert towns. What have we got? Narda? Nah, too sketchy. Paul Nivich. Okay. Paul Nivnich. Too much sand.
Paul Navit.
Hard.
Oh wow, I've never actually looked at
Bergderot. Hard no.
that.
Darkmire.
Yeah.
Nah.
I think when I look at it, Draenor looks like a nice village. It's quiet. It's on the ocean, so it's a nice little. There's gonna be lots of probably jobs there. Although they do have a giant jail for some reason, which is like.
Also, they have the huge scary castle to the north.
Yeah, the Draenor Manor, which is as big as the town.
What
Port
about
Sarum though?
Shiloh Village? It's enclosed. It's safe.
Yeah,
It's
but
warm. It has a river.
I think you get like Botfly.
There's Duradaddy as well. He can help you out when you're away at the office. He can look after your kid. He gets to look up to all the adventurers coming through. It's not bad. It's a hard no for Dills.
Maybe Brimhaven. I get pirates. That doesn't work.
What about the Ferox Enclave? You got all these like little nooks and crannies you can run into.
There's a Ferox Enclave.
It's in the wilderness.
Oh, Ferox. I was thinking of
Maybe not. Maybe my suggestions are a little bit of a hot take. There's some good choices out there though.
I like Draenor. It seems nice. You got you got some farmland. It's near Port Sarum, so you can get some work easily. It's probably free. Or Yanil. Yanil might be good. It's but you got the ogres to the south.
I actually have the idea. The town just south of the farming guild is where you really want to raise your child.
Oh, Korend.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
It's a nice place, nice pastures, not too many monsters around. Just that headless bear, but that's way to the south. He's not allowed to go down into the swamps.
Yeah, Korend could be all right, although they've a little bit got some conflict going on there. You know what? I think
it's conflict anywhere you go. You just got to accept that.
I think this is going to boil down to Tutorial Island. That's the place to be.
Just never let him leave Tutorial Island.
Just never leave Tutorial Island. That's the place to be. It's got all you need. All you need. It's a simple life.
There we go.
So there it is. It made me realize that I think every town, there's no perfect town in RuneScape. Everything's got something going on. Like Yanil seems like a good town. But then you got the ogres. Although, the gnomes, again, I think gnomes would be kind of similar to going to Prifdiness. Gnome Stronghold.
Yeah, I feel like gnomes are like care more about humans than elves do.
Yeah. Oh,
Some good options.
So many
it's
options.
great. Matacos always coming in with these hot questions.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear where people would where they would raise the family and why. Everything's got pros and cons. That's what I love about this. Interesting stuff. So thank you so much for that. For the email there. And we got Santi Mayo. Greetings from Peru, he says, and says, first of all, congrats on the baby. I have one too, and forget about old school RuneScape for at least 1 year. Oof, 1 whole year. You'll struggle to find time on your own, but you'll be very happy. Thanks for the podcast you guys make to stay in contact with the game. Yeah, he says, thanks for making the show. It's been a while since he's written in English. I love hearing where people are from, though. That's really cool. I can see kind of like where downloads come from when I look at the podcast, and sometimes it's really cool to see where, like, when you scroll down to like, where does one download, like what country do we get like 1 to 5 downloads from? And it's always like really interesting ones. You're like, oh wow, I didn't realize people are listening to there. Interesting stuff. And the last email from Mr. That's Johnny T. He says, first off, thank you for keeping me entertained and informed for a couple of years. Congrats on your future. This is awesome. As someone with 2 kids, I want to share a couple tips on keeping the grind. Number 1, time management. Any chance you feel like you have time for a nap or a RuneScape, skip the nap. Sleep when the kid sleeps instead.
Skip the nap.
Yeah, screw it. You don't need it. 2, definitely save your AFK tasks and skills for the first several months of fatherhood. Bang out all the focus and test tasks right now, aka achievement tasks. You're going to be a vegetable for the first year of parenthood. And number 3, try and find a decent OSRS podcast to keep you informed and brush away that FOMO.
Ooh, there we
gotta
go.
Find another podcast. I got to look around.
Listen to yourself back.
Yeah. There's a few times where like somebody will be like, oh, I was listening to this episode and it was da-da-da-da-da, and I'll go back and like listen to it or whatever it is. And my girlfriend will like walk by and be like, are you just listening to like your own podcast? And it's like, it's always like a little embarrassing. I'm like, turn it off. I was like, it's the memories.
Sounds like you've gotten some good advice here, Dills. A lot of people saying save the AFKs for when you're dad.
I know, and that's the thing. Like, I sometimes save it for work too, and I do actually worry that as I run out of AFK skills, that I'm going to like, what do I do? It's fun to watch numbers go up, but I don't care about 200 mil and making money. Maybe the pet chance, but it's tough. I have mining, which isn't super AFK. I'm getting close to 98 rune crafting. I have just regular crafting, herblore, smithing, and that's basically it as far as AFK skills go.
Crafting, herblore, you can leave those ones till the end.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. 'Cause they can be expensive.
They can. You have wood cutting done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mining's not a bad AFK skill if you're just doing motherload.
Yeah, I like it. Some people don't like it, but I do enjoy it.
I tend to not mind AFKing. It's a little bit worse XP, but
Yeah,
anything helps with mining.
Exactly. And if it's AFK, it's basically bonus experience in the end anyways.
All right. Before we go, I have 2 revelations to share.
Ooh.
So
yeah.
I was watching Behemoth, which many people know is just like a stream highlights guy.
Right. Okay.
Funny.
Yeah.
He just puts together the best clips of the day, and he puts out a video every day. And there was this one clip that seemed to have blown the mind of many people, where instead of using the arrow keys to move your camera, you can click down on the center mouse wheel and then move your mouse to move your camera around.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like making fun of this guy who was doing Theater of Blood without knowing that.
Oh.
I also did not know that, and I've played this game for 3 years. Yeah, I did not know.
So you always use the arrows?
I've used the arrow keys. I didn't know that you could use the center mouse wheel.
What about like WASD?
I also have those bound to arrow keys.
Okay, so you use those.
I use either one, but it's so much slower than being able to whip around. It took a little bit getting used to. I've been doing it for a few days, 3 or 4 days now, and my God, it's changed the gameplay vastly. Oh,
that's crazy! I have been using it forever. Did you ever watch somebody else playing it and see them quickly move around their camera angle and ever think like, holy shit, how they move it so quickly?
That's something that you think I would have noticed, but I never really thought. I only recently started looking at the camera angles that other people play the game at, and it's just way differently than me. Probably anyone who's seen me play in Discord, I play on like full screen, so I'm always like way zoomed out.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Some people play at like crazy flat angles, like behind their character. I'm like, I don't know how I could do that and click properly. Like when I do Corrupted Gauntlet, I back my camera up and put it like above my head on an angle so that I can see the whole arena, so that I don't have to move my camera.
Oh yeah, sometimes I think you can enable it on RuneLite. We were talking about our favorite RuneLite plugins. This one's kind of cool, but you can make it so that you can pivot your camera directly above you to give you like a full-on bird's eye view, and it feels like you're playing an RTS. Or
Nice.
Okay, so that was your first revelation. You had a second one?
That was the first one. The second one is sort of like, I'll hope it's a revelation for some people. I had this revelation maybe a year and a bit ago. So there's a wiki button right below the floating world map, right below sort of the map in the top right corner of your game.
Yep.
If you click on the wiki button, you can then click on any item, any monster in the game, and it will open up the wiki link to that monster or that item. All right, so those of you who didn't know that, it's game changing because you can be like killing this monster and you're like, fuck, I wonder what the drop rates are of whatever I'm going for. Bang, click the wiki, click it, and then it'll open up. How do you make this potion? Click on the wiki and then click on that, and then it's just amazing. You can also right click on it and search, and then type in what you want to look up, and it will take you to that page.
I don't know. Again, playing Escape from Tarkov and using the wiki, and I've done this for other games too. Old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, both of them have the single best wiki that I've seen.
Oh, they have great wikis.
Oh, they have everything, and they're amazing, and it's a really great wiki team. So huge props to that. But it's really cool.
It's a huge part of getting into the game is browsing the wiki and like doing what quests and like theory crafting, because it's such a sandboxy game.
Oh yeah,
the wiki, especially on an Iron Man, becomes a huge part of the game. But even on a normal account, you're going to be using the wiki a lot. So that's a nice little function to know about. Just built into even the basic version of the game, I believe.
It's really cool. Yeah. And I'm really happy when they did the official integration of the wiki into the game.
It's made the game a lot better for sure.
Oh yeah, totally.
And the wiki just has so much data. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
There's a couple revelations. Hopefully those help you out. But I gotta say, man, this camera changing has been it's been insane.
Yeah,
it's so much easier to play. It's so slow with the arrow keys. I still use them to lightly adjust things, but
yeah, it feels... I don't know how you. I might try. I don't know how you could have done that. Like
I've done all the content with it. Like I guess because I play on such a large screen, I usually set up my camera for a boss and then don't have to move it much. That tends to be what I do.
I think it's just one of those things. This game is so big and it's been around for so long that there's so much to it. And then since we've been playing it for years, we get set in our ways and we never think to even check to see if there's another way of doing it. Kind of on the same note, one thing that I love, if anyone's ever bored and looking for some RuneScape videos, you can go watch. I think Moat Plox. I don't know if he's made a video in a while, but he used to do like top 20 or here's 20 things about RuneScape, and he touches on these like really obscure items or little obscure facts or interactions that like most people forget about, and they're always fun to watch. You're like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do that. And it's usually like nothing special, but like they're fun little Easter eggs or fun little dated activities. Oh, that's cool though.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it's so it's nice. So hopefully that helps some people out there, or some people can.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just find stuff in games and you're like, man, that exists. Oh my God, my life is so much easier now.
Like when I learned you can click the compass and I don't know if you knew this, but it
points north. Yeah.
Yeah. Reorient or I can't even speak. Rotates your screen north.
Reorients the camera north. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So that's our cue to kind of move on out of here. Anyways, yeah, it's cool stuff. Guys, we have a clan set up. If you want to join it, get in touch with one of the mods. It's a whole wonky system, but yeah, just let us know. We also have the friends chat, which is always open, so you can go sit in there if you would like to instead. It's Wild CC. Our Discord is in the description of this episode if you would like to join it. But you can also find it on Twitter at TheWildernessRS, and our email is TheWildernessPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send in, where would you want to raise a family in RuneScape and why? Yeah, a lot of cool places there, and always love hearing it. Harless, did you hear the Planet Money podcast on RuneScape this week?
I have not listened to it yet, but I am excited to give it a listen.
Oh, it's so good. Anyone who doesn't know, Planet Money is an NPR podcast that talks about just like economic stuff. Sometimes it's about businesses or whatever.
Really good short podcasts.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes. So they did an episode on old school RuneScape and the like Venezuelan gold farmers. but they did a really good job with it, and they used all the music they used was the old school RuneScape music. So it's
That's so cool. Did they do it justice?
it was I really enjoyed it, and I was listening to it, and of course there were some things that you could tell they were explaining it for people who weren't RuneScape players, and they were like, you know, they really overhyped being able to slay dragons because slaying dragons is cool, but they talk about the Revenant caves. They really go deep into it. So much
That's
more.
cool.
I was really surprised, but it was really enjoyable. So you guys should listen to it. But yeah, with that, do you have a song of the week that you wanted to play? Or I can pull up the old track here.
Pull up the old track. I have been off my DJ game recently.
Oh no, that's totally fine. Yeah, that is quite all right. Let's do Dimension X because that is a strange song. It's
nice.
Like very strange. You can unlock it on the Gorok Plain. What the hell is the Gorok Plain? Oh, it's unlocked during the Quest Fairy Tale Part 2. It came out in July 2006. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you soon. Oh, quick note before we get out of here. We might do a watch party for the Summer Summit on July 31st. So just keep an eye on Discord if that's something you want to hang out and watch together. More info there. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.